Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We don't know if Lewis is going to be with us or not. He is having internet issues where he is. But if he pops in, I've got the back door open. I left the light on. He might be able to pop in. Hey, it's Robert Imbriali here. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I don't know, every time I see that video about the truth tour, I get more and more excited because I know we're getting closer. And every day there's more added to it. There's another speaker. There's a change in the itinerary. There's always something that's coming up and making it really a lot of fun. So October 14th, it will be in Nashville, just outside Nashville, actually, Nashville, Tennessee. Tickets are available, and we actually now have free tickets as well available. We'll have some seats available for that. So don't wait. If you're going to make it there in person, please do. It'll be so much fun. I promise you, you'll make a lot of lifelong friends there. We always do. Every time we have one of these events, we make friends, and these friends are just here forever. It's really a lot of fun to be at those events. You know, why should we be alone as patriots? Why should we be afraid to speak up and speak our minds, right? Wouldn't it be great to be around people all the time that are like that? And I think in a lot of ways, that's what the chat room is here. There are a lot of people who are really becoming friends, and you say, hey, hi, Starfish, hey, Master Baggy, hey, Buckshot, you know, all of it. It's the same people all the time. And they get to know each other a little bit, and hopefully they're connecting outside of the chat room as well. So I'm going to encourage you, if you're not watching live and you're not in the chat room, you know, you may be missing out a little bit. And if you're watching the replay, you can post comments because people come back and they'll look at the comments as well. Actually, the majority of our views come after the live show is done. So certainly hop in and post your comments there. Helps us, you know, we get emailed when comments are posted. So it's kind of fun to go back and look at the comments and see what everyone was talking about. Got a great email from Misty this afternoon. I just got it just a little bit before we went live, and we were talking about one of the topics yesterday about the FBI labeling all of us MAGA supporter types. And she said, you know, maybe it is about, you know, expecting 2024 to be stolen. And like we said, and, you know, maybe they are planning ahead for that, some violence. But then she also said, hey, what about all these people coming up from the border? Right? They're all military age men. And, you know, could that be something? And I thought about that, and I think, you know, that's an interesting concept. I don't know that would be the plan, because for them to be trained in military, it would take a little while, right? So a year or two, whatever it would take to train these guys to be, you know, part of a militia or whatever. It would take some time. But I do think they do play a role, and the role may be, and if you are on Telegram and you follow Tommy Robinson News, I think is the channel, and you follow him, you'll start to see that there's a lot of violence in Ireland, the UK, right, and these countries like that, from these immigrants that are coming in. They have the same problem we do, the same issue going on over there, and these military-age men, and they're roaming the streets, and they're raping, and they're pillaging, and they're stealing, and all the rest of it. And I think maybe that's more the plan, is to create that kind of chaos and then blame it on the good guys. I don't know. Could be wrong. I'd love to know your opinion. And we were tossing some ideas around, you know, what we can do here to make the show a little bit better. Always looking to improve it. I want to know in the chat rooms, you guys are watching live, I'm going to ask you a question. And if you like the idea, just type yes in the chat room. What if we were to have an open forum where you guys would be able to come on to our Zoom call, which is what I call the back room, right? And then bring you on to the show for a little bit, and you get to ask a question. How many would like that? Come into Zoom. You need to be on camera, though. You know, you can't be hiding your face. You show up and state your first name. You have to give us your whole name and just ask your question, and we'll bring you on like that. So we're thinking about doing that maybe on the Friday show when Lewis is available. Bruce is on the Friday show with me. All three of us will be able to really get different opinions or different responses to your questions. So that's one thing. That's one thing we may do. If you like it, if you like the idea, I'm looking for the hell yes. Oh yeah, there's a couple already. Fantastic, Joey. Love to see that. So Joey's right on board. Okay, great. So we'll plan on doing that. That'll be a lot of fun. All right. For those of you who don't know me, I am Robert Imbriali, and I have been a longtime coach, mentor, speaker, best-selling author, all the rest of that good stuff for many, many years. And in 2020, I decided that, we can't just go on business as usual, because the fabric, that the environment that we're working in has definitely shifted and changed. So I needed to do something else, and I decided to start talking about this stuff. I never thought I'd be here in this position where I am today, but you're led where you're led. And it's really been a nice journey to be able to talk about this stuff and be able to share it with people and help people, really wake people up, even on the other side who are really, really asleep. I know we've had impact there. I know a lot of people invite them to this show and say, listen, here's, sort of a common sense approach to things without being in your face about it and calling you stupid and calling you whatever, all the nonsense that goes on, right? So we don't do that. We bring the facts. We bring sort of a common sense approach to it. And I never thought I'd be in this role, but here I am. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying all of you. I enjoy your comments. And, you make the show what it is. And obviously we couldn't do it if it wasn't for you. So I want to talk about, as we get started today, a little bit of the dystopian world that we find ourselves in. And some of the stories today are going to lend a lot of credence to that. You're going to go, what happened? It doesn't make any sense, but that's what's going on. So I think dystopian is probably the best word to describe where we are right now. You got to do what's right. I think all of us have that message. We got to do what's right, even when you're condemned for doing it. I think we got to continue along that path, and there's going to be a story today. It's a little sad, but I think we can pull this one out of the fire, and we can make a difference here. But you got to do what's right. All of us do. We have to play that role, and if we stop playing that role and give in to the other guys, they win. And I know nobody on this watching this broadcast is one of the type to give in, or certainly not going to do that. So what's happening now is we're starting to see the do what's right. The other guys who were blaming the previous guys, and you'll know what I mean in a minute, now all of a sudden they're doing what's right when they condemn the other guy for doing what's right before. This is what I mean by dystopian. It was like, well, wait a minute. The other guy said do this because it was the right thing to do, but now you're doing it and it's okay. And you're blaming the other guy. You can't make some of this stuff up, right? So we're going to see much more of this happening. There's these kind of flips, these kind of mind-bending games, if you will, and it's going to keep happening. I think you're just going to see a lot more of it. So, here's what I'm feeling.
There is a great disturbance in the force.
Okay. Yeah, there is a great disturbance in the force. No doubt. Okay. Whew. Let's get on to our first story of the day, shall we? We talked a lot about the Speaker of the House yesterday, McCarthy. That was the big story, right? And there's a lot of fallout from it, a lot of things going on still around that, a lot of battling. What does MTG have to say? Let's listen to what she had to say to Alex Jones. Actually, I had to update this story like 3 times. I got it first thing in the morning, and then there was more information that came out. It was hearsay, and then it was well, it's most likely going to happen, and then here's the president actually talking about it. The former president to attend GOP's closed candidate forum on Tuesday of next week. So that's interesting. So on Wednesday, is it Wednesday today? No, it's Thursday today. Jeez, the week's just going too fast. Trump posted the above photo of himself in the speaker's chair holding a gavel, and I'll post that photo here for you. You can see that. He posted it on his Truth Social page. However, as the New York Post reported the same day, there's a little-known GOP rule barring anyone with a felony indictment against serving in the role of House Speaker. A member of the Republican leadership shall step aside if indicted for a felony or for which a sentence of 2 or more years imprisonment may be imposed. And I think we're up to, 1,000 years of prison for Trump now for all the things he's been accused of. This is according to the Republican conference rules of the 118th Congress. That said, the rules could be altered to make way for President Trump. Despite the gavel post, however, it appears that Trump doesn't actually want the job. Contrary to the video we played yesterday of him saying he'd do whatever it takes, they're reporting now it's not, and may just be attending to help steer the process. In a Thursday Truth Social post, that was today, Trump said, "I'm running for president. I have a 62-point lead over Republicans, and I'm up on crooked joke about in a minute. But we'll do whatever is necessary to help with the Speaker of the House selection process, short term, until the final selection of the great Republican Speaker is made. A Speaker who will help a new but highly experienced President, me, make America great again." Kind of tells you everything you need to know. He's going to be there to help pick the speakers. He's flying into Washington to help with that next week. Interesting. people are saying, well, maybe he's going to be the one who'll get nominated. MTG nominated him, right? We don't know. It's a little up in the air. I don't know. Maybe this clears it up that he doesn't really want a lesser role. He wants to be president, and I get it. You've been there already. It's hard to take when you're president of the company, it's hard to go back into customer service. You know what I mean? It's just you don't want to do that. I get it. So my question here, when I look at the polls, and he says Trump is up 4 to 11 points over Biden. Do you really believe those numbers? Really? With everything that's going on? He's only up 4 points, and in some polls as much as 11 points? Are you kidding me? Polls are fake. Clearly they're fake. You know it. You walk around. If you put on any shirt that says you're a MAGA supporter, you're a Trump supporter, whatever, you know how many people stop you in the street, right? And tell you, hey, it's thank you so much. Yeah, we're just like you. And, it's like, and it's on and on again. It's all over the place. It's not 4 points. It's not 4 points. Much, much, much more than that. So I always question the polls, and you don't see me bring a lot of polling data up here. I don't really put a lot of faith in it. They interview 1,000 people on a good poll, right? And they give you a margin of error of 5 or 6 points, and they go, well, that represents the entire country. Really? Okay, I get trend lines. I get that. Statistics. I get that whole thing. You got to give me a little bit more. I mean, up 4 points to 11 points? You got to be kidding me. He's up like 70 points, 80 points, right? It's probably 80 to 20 if you really want to look at the reality of this whole thing. And I couldn't believe even 20% would still say, hey, I'm for Biden. But those are the ones who, our job really is to help wake them up, isn't it? And that's what we need to do overall. Whew. All right. I talked a little bit in the pre-show about childish stuff happening on Capitol Hill there in Congress. Well, yeah, this is interesting. So McCarthy is behind the move to kick Pelosi out of her office. So he can move into it. Wait a minute. He kicked her out because she was no longer Speaker of the House, and she shouldn't have that office. So he's behind kicking her out, the new Speaker of the House, the temporary Speaker of the House. First thing he did, she's not even there. She's in California at Feinstein's funeral. They went in there, removed all her stuff, kicked her out. So now McCarthy's moving in there? Wait a minute, he's not the speaker anymore. What is going on over here? So this is CNN. Kevin McCarthy was behind the interim speaker Patrick McHenry's move to kick former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and former Majority Leader Steny Hoyer out of their office spaces, two Republican sources told CNN. GOP Rep Garrett Graves told reporters on Wednesday that McCarthy is getting the office, that McHenry has ordered her, Pelosi, to vacate. Can't make this stuff up. Look, the deal is that the office that Pelosi is in right now is the office of the preceding speaker. Speaker Pelosi and other Democrats determined that they wanted a new speaker, and it's Kevin McCarthy. So he's getting the office. Huh? He's not the speaker. He's gone. Sources close to Pelosi and Hoyer say that was retaliation for Democrats siding against McCarthy in voting to vacate the speaker's chair Tuesday. The unofficial offices are located near the House floor. McCarthy and McHenry did not respond to requests for comments. Well, why wouldn't they respond? Right? Graves put the blame on Democrats because it's important. We're on Lewis's channel today. We're on also Renegade Media channel, but I want to make sure that you do go over to screwbiggov.com. If you haven't been there, please go. Screwbiggov.com. That's Lewis's website, and you'll find all kinds of goodies there, especially information on the Truth Tour coming October 14th. And the button down the middle there on the bottom is the swag button where you get nice t-shirts. Like I said, t-shirts are conversation starters. I tend not to wear a lot of t-shirts. Everyone asks me, hey, why don't you wear a t-shirt on the air? I always like colored shirts. I don't know. I'm just like that. But I wear t-shirts on the weekends, and when I go out sometimes I'll just wear a t-shirt. But when I'm doing something more official, I tend to be a little bit more dressed up. But they're some great t-shirts. And now they have sweatshirts too because it's getting colder. He says when it's almost 100 degrees here today in San Diego. So, yeah, I'm a little warm. I can tell you that. But they have sweatshirts for the winter. And the other button there is a social media button. Good idea to use that button if you want to find Lewis's Telegram channel. because it's hard to find it on Telegram. So there's a direct link there, and you get to see his other social media sites, including TikTok. They're on TikTok now as well. So that's one place to go. And you want to find me? I am on Renegade Media on Telegram, t.me/Renegade Media, or just look up at Renegade Media and you'll find us right away. And you can email me, robert@renegademedia.tv. And I do appreciate your emails. I may not be able to respond to every one of them because I get quite a few, but I do read as many as I possibly can each day. It gives me reason to get out of bed in the morning, especially in a morning like today where I was really tired and I was thinking about, I'm good to get to the show. So, yeah, forget the tired. I'm getting up, I'm going, because that's where we need to be. Okay, let me bounce back to where I was. All right, a story came up today that I didn't like. And I had mentioned Mike Lindell. I think it was earlier in the week I had mentioned that he's looking pretty haggard. It didn't look good that the position that he's in, it looked like, he was under tremendous stress when he's always been, sort of, I'm coming at you, I'm going, I'm fighting. And it looked to me that he was pretty worn down. I didn't quite know why. When you're looking at that, he looked pretty beat up there, didn't he? He looked very stressed. He's got the lawsuits, Dominion suing him. There's other people suing him. They're going after him personally, and they're also going after his company. And he had this group of lawyers, and he's basically out of money. I mean, that's basically what he's saying. There's no more money to pay the lawyers. So they all bailed, and they all filed in federal court that they are no longer part of the case. I guess they have to file a form for that, and they did this morning. And that leaves him sort of flying in the wind with no legal representation right now. And it's kind of a scary place to be because these guys, they have all the money, right? Dominion and all the rest of the government agencies, everything else, everyone else is going after him. They've got all the money they can spend for all the lawyers. So I don't know. I'm placing an order with MyPillow today. I'm going to get some new slippers. I'm going to get some new towels. I'm going to do that because anything we can do to help him, to support him. He's one of the patriots, right? One of the good guys. And he's getting beat up right now, and he's in a tough spot. So all the money he's been spending has been his own, and all the money he made running MyPillow and that very successful company that he built up. And then all the big box stores canceled them. I love Bed Bath and Bankrupt. They canceled him, and they're gone. It's great to see that. But that's not how we play. That's not how we win the game, right? We win the game by supporting those who are out there fighting for us. So if anything you can do, it's not an ad, but if there's anything you can do to support Mike, if you want to buy some product from him, I love the pillows. Actually, I was one of the first people to buy the pillows way back when he first started to put them on infomercial, like $79 at the time. I had a hard time finding a pillow that would work. That one worked. I've been using it ever since. Love it. And I even travel with it. I squish it all up, put it in the suitcase, and when I go traveling, I bring my own pillow because the pillows of the hotels are horrible. They're always flat, right? No support there. And I thought when I first met him that I would love to work with him because he's got a marketing mind, a sales mind. I'm like, yeah, that's me. I could work with him. So, and I still feel that way. I think he's one of the good guys. So, yeah, crazy stuff. So he's telling us here in this next clip that he's not going to, but he's accurate, right? Fox News doesn't report on the things that are important to all of us, and especially for a news media outlet that says they're on our side, and clearly they're not. And they settled with Dominion, and Lindell says, I'm not going to settle. No, he could give them, I don't know, $500 million. And the lawsuit goes away, right? They could make a deal like that. I think it was $800 million that Fox News settled for. They didn't fight it out. And he was saying Fox didn't even want to, work with them. They would have worked together because they were being sued for the same thing. So what if they would have worked together and shared notes? Fox News didn't even contact them. They play on the same team, right? Fox and Dominion, all these guys, they're all on the same side. Not on our side, they're on the other side. So if you need any more proof of that, here's just another feather in that cap to see what's really happening there. So frustrating, really frustrating to see. But, win some, you lose some. And, sometimes we lose some of our players. I don't like to see that. And anything we can do to help out is worthwhile doing. And that's why I'm sharing that today. It's not a commercial. I don't have an offer code, but if you, and I see some people posting in here that they have all of MyPillow stuff. Congratulations, guys. Great job there. I do too. I got the mattress topper. I got the slippers. I got the towels. you just name it. I've got it all. I've even got the quilt and the blankets. I've got all that stuff. And the sheets. Oh, the sheets are great. I love them. Anyway, I digress. He's got good products. If you can support him, go ahead and do that, because we need to keep our team, fortified here. It's like bringing Gatorade to your football players who've been on on the field for a long time, fighting it out. It's a good idea to help out as much as you can. All right. Now we move into the dystopia that I talked about earlier. This is going to be kind of fun. This is Mayor Adams, Eric Adams of New York City, on an airplane, wake up and realize that there's a problem. He didn't care about it when it was going on in Texas, right? Everything that's going on down there, didn't care. Didn't care anything about what's going on in Maricopa, Yuma, Arizona, right? New Mexico, California, could care less. Now he's got 113,000 of these migrants in his city trashing New York City. And he's flying to Mexico to find out just what in the world's happening. I got news for you. You're late. Ain't happening in Mexico. Mexico is just a transit point. In fact, very few coming across the border are Mexican. Very few. All the Mexicans that wanted to come across probably already did. Right? So they're coming from other countries. Which countries? Well, name them. You see some of the Ben Bergquam videos. You saw it. We played some of them. They're coming from China and Venezuela and Brazil and south in Panama and further south than that. It's interesting. He's now looking to do something about it. So this whole thing just flipped this week. This is crazy. Here's the story that Mayorkas, the guy, we want to impeach this guy, but he's finally flipped. He's the Department of Homeland Security Secretary. He's now saying that there's an immediate need for, I can't even say this with a straight face, more border wall in Texas to deal with the never-ending flow of illegal border crossers. Mayorkas cites immediate need to waive regulations and build a border wall in Texas as immigration surges. Okay, so I posted this on Telegram an hour ago, and I said, what do you guys think? And a lot of you, those of you who responded, you got it. You nailed it. Where are we timeline-wise? What's the next month? We're in October. What's the next month? Oh, November. What's that signal? Signals 12 months away from what? The general election. Aha. Okay. So it's an election year coming up. We're very close to an election year. So they figure if they start building the wall now, maybe by, January, they'll have stemmed the flow enough where it'll be a topic we'll forget about. We'll put it in the back. We're not going to worry about it. We're going to forget about it. Huh. Timing's right. You know, as well as I do, people make up their mind about who they're going to vote for in a general well before November, right? So they got to kind of plan for that. They've got to get that rolling now because people are going to make up their minds when? January, February, March, somewhere there. By the midsummer, most people know who they're voting for. The numbers really aren't going to change all that much unless something dramatic happens. Election year. What else might we see in election year? You think gas prices will keep going up, or will they find a way to get them to come back down again? It's an election year. Gas prices always come down in election year. Always. How about the economy? Will the economy improve? Hope so. Well, it's an election year. Who knows what's going to happen? It's a game that they play over and over and over again to get you to vote for them. And then when they're in, let's open the border back up. Let's weld those doors back open again. Let's let as many more, right? You see it. It's a cycle. It's just a game. After a while, if you take the macro view, you can see the games that they're playing. So paying attention to it, you guys are smart. I love when I post stuff on there and you guys get it. You get it. You're on it. Guys are amazing. They're not pulling the wool over our eyes. We know exactly what's going on. I shouldn't hit my keyboard because I don't know what button I'm going to push and may stop the stream or something. Yeah. But truthfully, this is what we need to pay attention to now. It's like he wants what now? He wants more border. Wait, how could that possibly be? Pack this a little bit, don't we? We're not building the wall. We're cleaning up the mess. Who? What'd she say? Who did she say left the mess? Oh, it's Donald Trump's fault. Oh, I could have guessed that. Could you? Of course you could. You can't make this stuff up sometimes. It's like, yeah, they're blaming Trump that he left it a mess. And they're taking the money that was allocated for that and they gave it back to the military. Remember, they wouldn't allow Trump to finish the wall? So he went to the military and he got the money from the military, from their budget. He took it out and he got the money to be able to finish the wall. And then his term ran out. And the moment Biden got in, the first thing he did was shut it all down, just cleaning up the mess that the Trump administration left. I say you can't make this stuff up. So they're denying that they're building the wall. And yet if you go down there, and Ben Bergquam's probably going to be down there and he's going to be videotaping it, they're putting up the wall. Actually, Mexico, they already showed Mexico putting up a lot of the wall too, because they don't want all these people coming back through Mexico. They don't want them settling back in Mexico. They went through. It's a one-way street. We don't want them back. Not their own people, by the way. All the ones who've come through Mexico, traversed Mexico to come into the United States. Those are the ones they don't want back. They'll take their own people back, I'm sure. I don't know. It's kind of like no words, right? It's like, yeah, we're building the wall, but we're not going to say we're building the wall. We're just going to say we're cleaning up the mess. But no more details. What kind of mess was left there? What? Shovels, picks, axes? Did they leave open trenches? What kind of mess? Anyway, I can't make heads or tails out of it sometimes. It just makes me crazy. But you can see the dystopian world we're living in, right? They're doing it. They're doing the right thing, but they can't even say they're doing the right thing because they've been talking about doing the wrong thing for so long that they can't go back. It's just like, yeah. All right. Is there a disturbance?
There is a great disturbance in the force.
See, I told you. That's what it feels like. It really feels like there's a disturbance in the force here. All right. January 6th. Guess what? More stuff coming out on January 6th. This is interesting. We didn't know this one. Challenges to the January 6th obstruction of Congress prosecutions pile up at U.S. Supreme Court. So a lot of these cases have gone through the lower courts and are piling up at the Supreme Court. Do you think they're going to take action at some point? Do you think the Supreme Court will do the right thing and clean all this up? The High Court is considering whether to take up the challenge. We don't know if we should or not. Isn't that your job? Defend the Constitution? Isn't that the oath you guys swore? Could be wrong. I don't know. I grew up in Canada. I don't know nothing about U.S. law. The High Court is considering whether to take up a challenge to the use of the law 28 of New York. To be charged is to be convicted because the criminal charge has no fixed meaning. This is what they're doing. Wrote attorneys Thomas Renz and Bradford Geyer in a 61-page brief filed with the Supreme Court on September 29th. The former Feds Group brief follows an amicus curiae brief filed on August 30th by attorneys for three other January 6th defendants, Christopher J. Warnagaris, 43, Christopher Carnell, 21, and William Robert Norwood III, who is 40. So basically what they're saying is they're being charged, and the charges, the rule they're using is so broad that it can be interpreted any way a judge wants to interpret it, and it carries a maximum of 20 years prison time. So what's happening is that's actually what these judges are doing. They're just interpreting the law any way they want to, however they're told, right? And they're giving these exorbitantly long prison sentences for people who did absolutely nothing. They happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, please leave. That's the end of it. No, 18 years in prison, 14 years in prison, 6 years in prison, 8 years in prison. That's the kind of sentences we're handing out. So this is making its way to SCOTUS, the Supreme Court. We will see if they will take it on. I hope they do. I mean, that's kind of their job, isn't it? To take on cases like this. That's what they're there for. What do you guys think? You think they're going to take it on? You think they're going to do it? You think they're going to do the right thing here? I'm hoping. Here's our fingers crossed. I don't know. I'm hoping they do the right thing because we got to clear this thing up. It's just crazy what's going on with these political prisoners is really what they are. They're going after them much harder with the hope that they're going to scare all of us to not get out and protest. And it has worked, by the way. We haven't seen very much in the way of protest from our side since January 6th happened, right? But I got to tell you, common sense would dictate you had 2 million people on site. Those are the estimates. We had 2 million people there. If there was going to be a riot with 2 million people, that Capitol building would have been ashes, right? It would have been totally, totally trashed. Didn't happen. That's not what happened. Okay, so it wasn't our side then. Nope. Who were the instigators? Oh, it was Antifa. They were FBI informants. Oh, so our side didn't do anything. And yet they're the ones that are getting prosecuted for it, right? Crazy. And they're still making arrests, by the way. This is what, 2.5 years later? They're still going out there and making arrests of people who are, cell phone records. Oh, you were there. We saw you on a video, whatever. They're going after them. This is another thing. I'm glad McCarthy is gone, because he promised to make all that January 6th footage available. He made it available to Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson did one report, and they locked it all up again, and they fired Tucker. Why? Because their whole case fell apart. Once you see the actual footage and see what actually happened there, nobody's going to believe these charges. Nobody. So, bye-bye, McCarthy. You are not on our side. Clearly, we're not on our side. Crazy. All right, next one. Lewis brought this to my attention today. It was kind of interesting. I'll make it a little bigger. Actually, you don't need to read it. I'll read it for you because it's interesting. So Lewis said we were on top of this. We had picked this up long ago, and truthfully, we have. We've been talking about it for quite some time. A high-ranking official in Ukraine has come forward with a list of U.S. politicians and government officials who are receiving massive, all in caps, kickbacks from the billions in an area maybe, but that's about it. A massive money laundering operation has been going on for the past 18 months, and the American people have been betrayed. When this list is revealed to the American public, the traitors in our government who have been selling out our country will be exposed and must be punished accordingly. Buckle up. The tide is about to turn. Justice is coming. We know that. We also know that it's not just the money. We also know that we've been sending them arms. We've been sending them tanks and jets and rockets and ammunition, right? All of that stuff, not included in the money that we're sending. And then we find out that, hey, how come these guys have American-made rockets and American-made tanks and Ukraine's receiving them, turning around and selling them. And they get the money. And then what do they do with the money? It comes back to some of these people that this Ukrainian is talking about, right? Kickbacks. We know. I'm waiting. The wheels of justice spin slowly, but man, when they turn, hopefully they'll grind some of this stuff out. This is important. And continuing with that here, Congress to get more Ukraine aid and plans a major speech. This is from the Associated Press today, saying, facing a likely roadblock from House Republicans on aid for Ukraine, President Joe Biden, or resident Joe Biden more likely, said Wednesday he's planning to give a major speech on the issue and suggested there may be another means, a workaround, to provide support for Kiev if Congress continues to balk, which, who knows, right? That was the whole idea behind passing the resolution the continuing resolution to keep the government open for another 45 days was no money to Ukraine. And then McCarthy had already done a backroom deal saying, yeah, we're sending more money to Ukraine. That's what really caused him to be kicked out. So this is Biden saying, I'm going to be announcing very shortly a major speech I'm going to make on this issue and why it's critically important for the United States and our allies that we keep our commitment to Ukraine, Biden told reporters after giving an unrelated remarks at the White House. White House officials declined to say when Biden planned to give this purported speech. The president did not elaborate on the alternate method he was looking at to get additional. There is another means by which we may be able to find funding, but I'm not going to get into that right now, he said. What do you think is going on? More backroom deals. Oh my gosh, more backroom. Can we have any more backroom deals with this government? I mean, really? That's what's happened. More backroom deals. Guys, I don't know. Am I just the one who's fed up with seeing all this stuff? You must be fed up too. Come on. There's got to be a better way, right? There's got to be a better way. All right, let's take a quick commercial break. I want to talk to you about NutraSwish. NutraSwish is, by the way, this is, we offer this product and we do make a little commission on it, and that helps to fund this show and keep this show going. So I thank all of you who have decided to step up and give it a shot. Somebody emailed me the other day and said, I don't know. I'm like, well, give it a shot for a month. You're not obligated to anything. There's no auto ship unless you want it. It's an optional thing. And just try it for a month and see if you like it. So they're going to do that and give it a shot. NutraSwish is a really neat product. It is glutathione and turmeric, and they nanoparticleize those two supplements so that you put them in your mouth, you swish it around. That's why it's called NutraSwish. Swish it around, and as you're doing that, those particles are absorbed under the tongue. So you're getting both glutathione and turmeric into your system really quickly. And then you just swallow the rest. It's basically a water solution. It's got a little bit of minty flavor, very, very, very subtle minty flavor. And that's it. That's all you do that. Do it twice a day, switch it around for 2-3 minutes, and do that twice a day. And it helps with energy. It helps with sleep. It helps with recovery after exertion. So if you're out raking the leaves, getting ready for those trick-or-treaters at the end of the month, you get a little sore. This is going to help with that and help your muscles recover quicker. A lot of people who are doing a lot of physical training in the gym are reporting that instead of waiting 3 days to recover, they can actually get back in the gym in 1 day, which is really interesting. They're recovering a lot quicker. So it's also good for helping you reduce oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is, the things we're ingesting, whether eating, drinking, breathing, right? Toxins. The liver's job is to get rid of those. And you got to help the liver because that's the fuel that the liver uses to clean that stuff up is glutathione. Hard to get it in a destroyed in the digestive tract. So this is a better way. Either this or intravenous. You want a needle. You can do it that way as well. It goes right into the bloodstream. Inconvenient. And I don't think any of us really wants to have a needle, right? We're not in that camp. So have it a shot, give it a shot. I would suggest you try it at least for a month and see if you like it. renegademedia.tv/energy, or just scan the QR code on your screen. And that'll give you, access to more information on glutathione, number one. And number two, it'll help you decide which ones you want to buy, because there's a product for the skin that is really kind of fun as well. Okay. Thank you for those who support the show. Thank you for being part of the Neumi system. If you already joined, thank you very much. We got some more stories for you. We're only halfway done. I got a long list today. I was like, oh, wow. I know Lewis texted me this morning and he said he doesn't know about the internet connection. So I've got the back door open. If he pops in, we'll bring him on. But he may not have enough internet to actually do much. He was basically able to do a text message, maybe an email, but not a whole lot more where he is in the undisclosed location. All right. Federal officials. Whew. More money wasting. Hey, this seems to be the theme today. The government wasting your money. Isn't it an interesting theme, right? The government's wasting your money, folks. This one's interesting. What do you see there? You won't believe what this is. This is from the Daily Mail because American media is not going to report this. Federal officials are blasted for spending $3.3 billion on office furniture, while employees' restrictions, according to the New York Post. Revelations over the huge splurge came as lawmakers in Congress have sparred in recent months over unfettered federal spending as the government teeters over a shutdown, which we know is not happening now. 40 days away. Let's see what happens. Interesting. Frustrating, but interesting. All right. I have some AI photos to show you that Master Baggy, thank you for finding these and pointing out the interesting thing. But I found something even deeper in these photos.